Good morning. It is really exciting to see everyone here. Let me introduce myself. I'm Noma Anderson from the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, and as chair of the University of Tennessee Diversity Advisory Council, the DAC, I'm excited to welcome you to UT's first Diversity Summit. Let me tell you a little bit very briefly about the DAC. The Diversity Advisory Council is comprised of UT staff and students and faculty from across the state, representing all of the campuses and most of the institutes. And the DAC works to present strategies and recommendations to Dr. Dipietro, President of the University of Tennessee. And our efforts are to make the University of Tennessee more excellent, more efficient, and more effective in advancing diversity. I would like the members of the DAC to please stand or wave so that we can acknowledge you and the hard work that you do, and my public opportunity to thank you. I'm pleased this morning to introduce Dr. Joe Dipietro. On January the 1st, 2011, Dr. Dipietro became the 25th president of the University of Tennessee. Dr. Dipietro has unequivocally and continually communicated to the DAC, to our Board of Trustees, to the university, and to the public his commitment to diversity and inclusion at the University of Tennessee, holding himself and our chancellors accountable for change. Welcome, Dr. Dipietro.
So good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been a little bit of a struggle to get here because of weather, but we made it. That's what counts. I don't second guess the pilots when they said we couldn't land in Murfreesboro. It's not like I say to Mike Dulio, how about trying it? And actually, my first year in this job, one time we were flying into UT Martin, one of my favorite spots to go, and it was one of the first trips out there. And for those of you who aren't from Tennessee and don't know Tennessee, some of our speakers are from outside the state. It can be a little bit like Duluth, Minnesota, because it can be icier out there. We came down to about 1,000 feet. Our associate pilot said to me, he looked over and said, "Hey, it's icy down there. We can't raise anybody." He looked at me like, "You should make a decision." And I said, Jim, I'm a bag back here. Just get me on the ground safe. So we got here, and that's what counts. And I'm very pleased to be here, and I plan on spending the majority of the morning with you. And I'm very interested in the group of speakers that we have been put together. And I have a deep-seated commitment to diversity because of my experience growing up, as well as the fact that my family is multiculturally diverse. And so as a result of that, it's very, very important to me, and I see it as a very, very important thing for a great university to advocate and to have a responsibility to advance. So being here today recognizes your willingness to know that we always have to improve in this area. You're among about 150 advocates representing every part of our university system, every campus and institute. And by being here today, you're helping lay the groundwork for a statewide conversation and a call to action. And it's about a call to action. Advancing diversity goes beyond the roles of recruiting students and hiring employees. It's about being unified as a campus community, being together in the belief that everything we're working to achieve is made better when enriched by the contributions of diverse faculty, staff, and students. People of different backgrounds, cultures, religions, points of view, abilities, socioeconomic status, and sexual orientation, among other diverse characteristics, add to our environment that benefits us in so many ways. Diversity among our students enhances the educational experience, the exchange of ideas, and preparedness for the workforce, and actually also increases, obviously, our students' multicultural competencies. Diversity among our staff and faculty makes the outcomes of our research and discovery programs and the solutions they provide more pertinent and in a more broad fashion their pertinency. Diversity makes our outreach efforts more effective and more broadly accepted by the diverse population that we have across the state and the nation. But more importantly, from the bottom of this man's heart, diversity is about people. And everyone matters. Everyone has something to contribute. We aspire to be an institution that reflects our commitment to diversity and is welcoming and empowering to all. Progress is occurring at each of our campuses and institutes because of your work and efforts, but we'll never reach our goals by looking to a handful of people or departments for solutions. We have to create a statewide conversation, and that's what today's about, and a sense of urgency among our entire university community if we hope to achieve big change. And you know, I've in the last 6 to 7 months, for those of you in the system who are with us, and that's most of the audience, I've spent a lot of time thinking about what it takes to do big change when it comes to our relationship with the state and our budget, and I've talked about an unsustainable budget model, and I've talked about a fellow who wrote a book, John Cotter, on leading change. It's a book that was published in the 90s, and the biggest reason big change doesn't happen is because you can't create adequate urgency. So the ability for us today to focus on this issue of advancing diversity and create some urgency across the system to want to have outcomes that improve and grow us in this regard are very, very important if we're going to be successful. We invited you here today to start that conversation, to push your thinking, to embrace your ideas, to encourage your collaboration, and ask for your help. We hope that you'll take many things away from today, especially leaving with a deeper understanding of diversity and renewed focus on making an impact. I ask for your help raising awareness, educating others, and obviously, and most importantly, leading by example. But before we get started this morning, I'd like to recognize again the Diversity Advisory Council. You've already stood. And we've recognized you. This group has provided me tremendous advice and insight and is very valuable to the institution. I'd also like to thank Dean Noma Anderson, who's chair of DAC, for her dedication and leadership and commitment to the DAC as well as diversity. And thank you once again to all of you for being here and participating. I'm grateful for your help and all that you do. It makes my job a lot easier. Thank you and have a good day, and I'll give it back to Dean Anderson.